One of the problems with driving a manual car in slow moving traffic, and this is made worse uphill, is that quite often the traffic is going so slow that you can't come fully off the clutch. That means you're constantly riding the clutch. This is going to ache your leg. Also, it's going to get your clutch hot, meaning it's going to wear out more quickly. Fortunately, there is a way around this. Bear in mind, throughout this video, I'm using an action camera. Action cameras and dash cameras have wide angle lenses, making objects in the distance look significantly further than they actually are. This is how estate agents take photos of properties with rooms and gardens that look far larger than they are. In this clip, the Mini in front looks about twice as far ahead than it actually is. So if you were in this car, it would look about half the distance ahead than you're seeing currently on camera. When I stop close behind it, then the distance you see is closer to true. The goal is to stay off the clutch as much as possible. So instead of going really slowly with the car in front, I allow the car to get a bit further ahead, move away, come fully off the clutch, and now I can go that little bit faster instead of constantly stopping and starting and going really slow. Also, once I'm fully off the clutch, I try to stay slow. There is a big gap between me and the car in front, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to catch up with that car soon. But hopefully, by the time I catch up with the car, it's moving again, so I don't have to push the clutch down again. So you see, I'm trying to keep the clutch up. I could accelerate, catch up with that car, but I'd probably have to push the clutch down because by the time I catch up with it, it's going to slow down or stop. So you see, I'm keeping the clutch up, I'm still moving, I'm catching up with the car, and by the time I'm catching up with the car, it's going again. I can see the traffic up ahead as well. It's really quite stationary there, so I'm holding back as much as I can now, hoping it will get moving before I get going. Is it going to? Yes, there you go. I'm not having to press the clutch. I don't want to leave this, well, I don't want to block this crossing, so I will wait here until I know I can get past. So I had to push the clutch down for that, but I'll get going again now and do the same thing again, just trying to keep that clutch up, trying to use the clutch as little as possible. And now I'm about to start going uphill. It's going to be even more important because that means I'm not going to have to do so many hill starts. I've got a junction here. It's very important to leave junctions clear, so I'll wait here, leaving that clear in case someone wants to move into it or move out of it. And then I'm going to use neutral. So again, I'm not on the clutch. I'm minimizing how much I'm using the clutch. That makes driving a manual in traffic so much easier. Having to hold the clutch down and constantly use the clutch when in traffic, well, it's not my favorite thing. Let's just say that. So I'm getting going again now, space after this road. Thought I'd let that car out. There's no point making them wait for all the cars that are behind me. Off the clutch fully now and try to do that again. Slowing down a little bit, hoping the car in front will get going again before I have to stop, will it? No, not this time, but quite often it does. And then, as I'm on a hill, best thing to do, if you're new to driving, handbrake start. Easiest way to do a hill start. Takes a bit of time, but it's reliable. If you've got an electronic handbrake, it will disengage automatically at the bite point. All the ones I've used have. But with this one, just get gas, bite point, then handbrake off, and we'll get going again. And see how far away that car is in front. Now, honestly, I wouldn't normally do that. I would get going a bit more quickly, but new drivers take longer to do hill starts. That's fine. Don't try and keep up with the car in front because that will rush you. That will make you panic. That will make you more likely to mess up your hill start and then stall. And once you've stalled, you're going to be panicking even more. So then you're more likely to stall again. And if you stall again, well, you can see where this is going. More panic, more stress, more pressure, more likely to mess it up. So when I'm teaching people to drive, I'm always encouraging them not to try and stay stuck to the bumper of the car in front in traffic. Take your time. Use the pedals in your own time. Make sure you move away slowly and with good control. Once you have experience, then you can do it more quickly. A lot of manual cars these days have hill hold assist. It's been very popular for well over 10 years now. With heel hold assist, when you come off the brake, it holds the brake for a couple of seconds and then it will start rolling back. That gives you time to get the gas and lift the clutch. But new drivers actually find that difficult to use. They find the handbrake start easier. And the reason why they find it difficult to use is because it holds the brakes for a couple of seconds, or as soon as you press the gas, it will let go of the brake. So what a learner will do is they go, okay, they press the gas, the brakes will let go straight away, and then they start rolling back. So a tip for using heel hold assist is to get near the clutch bite point, not necessarily on it, just near it, and then go to the gas and lift the clutch the rest of the way to the bite point. So you don't have so long to get there. You can do it more quickly. That way, hopefully you reach the bite point before you're rolling back. But heel hold assist does take practice. It's more powerful than the handbrake because it uses all 4 brakes and it's all 4 wheels. It's hydraulic. The handbrake is only the rear wheels and it's cable, so it's far more powerful, and it is useful. When you're good at using it, it does make driving a manual car in traffic uphill a lot easier. Once I'm at the front of the queue though, I don't leave the gap. This is where I'm more ready to ride the clutch a little bit to try and stay with the flow of traffic instead of leaving that big gap, because by the time it's my turn, when I get to the line, I don't want to be 5 car lengths, 10 car lengths back there or something. When it's my turn, I want to be at the line. So now I'm prepped, I'm leaving it in gear, I'm not in neutral, I want to be ready to go. When that car goes, I might be able to go as well. So I'm ready. Looks like they might go, yep, so I'm ready. Can I go as well? Not on this occasion, but if I go slowly, can I get the gap after this car? No, I'm gonna wait. Handbrake up if you're a learner, that's my advice. Gas, bite point, handbrake down, and then get going. I wouldn't have done a handbrake start there. I would have just used heel hold assist. Another thing you can do is just move your feet quickly. If you're quick with the pedals, you don't need the handbrake or heel hold assist unless you're on a very steep hill, but new drivers are certainly not quick enough to do that. If you try to be quick enough to do that, you will probably mess it up. So my advice is handbrake start, old ratchet handbrake like this or electronic, both of them work. When 2 lanes are merging, it's important not to leave a significant gap because it's going to delay vehicles in your lane behind you from merging. So try to keep next to the gap you want to merge into. This will also help signal your intentions that you are planning to merge. So to recap, the goal is to stay off the clutch as much as possible. You can do this by using neutral when you're stationary. Also, when the vehicle in front of you starts moving, instead of moving forwards really slowly with them and riding the clutch to stay that slow, let them get further ahead. Then you can come fully off the clutch and roll. Then once you are rolling, try to stay as slow as you can with the clutch up, and hopefully the vehicle ahead starts moving before you catch up and then have to stop. Only do this though in long lines of traffic. Don't do this when you're near the junction because that's going to cause the queue to be longer as you're going to be far back from the roundabout or whatever junction it is when it's your turn. And also it doesn't work when lanes are merging because it's going to confuse people. But when you're in a long line of traffic and you're not near the junction yet, you're going to catch up with that vehicle ahead of you by the time you get to the junction anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. In doing this, you can actually smooth out the stop-start traffic behind, as your more consistent speed will help the vehicles following you to also have a more consistent speed. This can help reduce driver fatigue, vehicle wear, and possibly even fuel consumption, depending on the type of engine and transmission. Riding the clutch is actually an important skill because when you're starting to get near the junction, you want to keep up with the flow of traffic so that when it's your turn, you're ready to go. And sometimes to keep up with the flow of traffic, you need to ride the clutch because you can't go fast enough to come off the clutch completely. Here is a tip that's going to help you ride the clutch more successfully. Sounds wrong, doesn't it? Ride the clutch more successfully, but it is a necessary part of driving a manual car, particularly in traffic. And it's all to do with the heel of the foot to use for the clutch. So if I put my heel down now and lift the clutch up to the bite point, and then push the clutch back down again, and then keep my heel down, watch how this pedal is sliding lower and lower on my foot. And I push the clutch back down again. And when you're riding the clutch, you are pushing the clutch down, lifting it up, pushing it down, lifting it up constantly. So I've only done this 3 times now, clutch down, clutch up 3 times. And already the pedal is right at the bottom of my foot. And my foot's actually stuck up here. And I'm actually, I don't know if I can fix this. I might have to use this foot to try and help. There we go. I lost my footing. The pedal slid on my foot and I lost control of the car. So actually, when you're using the clutch constantly up and down, it's actually better to keep your heel up, because when the heel is up, you see the pedal doesn't slide underneath my foot. When I want to steady the pedal, I can put my heel down and do small adjustments. But for the long movements, I recommend keeping your heel off the floor so that the pedal does not slide under your foot like this, and then you, within 3 or 4 goes, well, my foot is stuck now, it's stuck up here somewhere, probably on the air conditioning vent, and then you end up coming off the clutch and stalling like that. I didn't stall. Let's make that real. I'm in gear. There you go. Up to the bike point, down, up to the bike point, down, up to the bike point, down. Oh, now my foot's stuck. Oh, now what to do? Anyone looking? Well, oops. Another way to move forwards uphill without rolling back in a manual car is to lift the clutch to the bike point like that, then come off the brake and then add gas. When you're at the bike point, that's going to stop the car from rolling back. However, there is a caveat. That should not be the only method you know. If that's the only method you know, you're going to be in trouble when you drive some cars, because not all cars are going to help you very much. If you lift the clutch up to the bike point with the brake on, in some cars, they are really going to struggle and likely stall. So it's important you also know how to do a handbrake start so that you can drive all cars. Here's an example of what can happen. You're in gear and you think, okay, I'll lift the clutch to the bike point with the brake on, and then the car stalls and conks out because it simply doesn't give you power when you're at the bike point automatically. This one gives you a little bit of power. You see the revs actually rev. You see, I'm not pressing the gas, but this is the engine speed. It's revving itself when I'm at the bike point to stop me from rolling back when I come off the brake, to stop the car from stalling. But not all cars are going to give you that help. So learning how to do a handbrake start, we have the handbrake on, get some gas, get some bike point like that, so some power there, then handbrake off to move. That's a reliable way to move away uphill. It works in all cars, whether you've got a manual handbrake or an electronic handbrake. It works in all manual cars. Another way I stay off the clutch as much as possible is by coasting when I'm below about 5 miles an hour. Neutral, clutch up. If I'm in a line of traffic at this low speed, I don't need to be in gear. I don't need the power. Where am I going to go? It's downhill. I just come off the brake and let it roll. This saves me having to use the clutch. And if I get above around about 5, 6, 7 miles an hour, I will clutch down, go into gear, and then bring the clutch up. I've chosen second gear because there's no need to use first gear anymore. At speeds below 5 miles an hour, you have to coast anyway. If you try to bring the clutch up much below 5 miles an hour, the car's going to want to stall. It doesn't want to stay at 2 or 3 miles an hour with the clutch up. Many cars have a minimum speed of 4 or 5 miles an hour when the clutch is up. But there you go, neutral, clutch up and roll the last little bit. This is not going to overheat the brakes. If you're coasting downhill at a higher speed, you may overheat the brakes. But when you're going 3, 4, 5 miles an hour, it's not. And again, into neutral, clutch straight up, and I'm staying off the clutch even more. The more you stay off the clutch, the easier it is to drive a manual car in traffic. This time, I don't think I will press the clutch down. I'll just use the heel. I'm not going to go fast enough. See, it's a little creep on the brake. I don't need power, ready. So I don't need the clutch down and to be in gear, ready to go. If I want to get going, yes, it won't take me long. Look, there we go. Clutch down into gear and I'll get going. Not that I needed to do that. But with practice, using neutral as much as possible is going to make driving a manual car in traffic far more pleasant. Again though, once I get near this junction, that's when I'm going to start to still coast. My clutch is down. Instead of being in neutral, my clutch is down, that's coasting, but I want to be more ready to go here because I'm at the junction. I want to make sure if it's my turn, they're coming, I better wait for them. If it's my turn, I'm ready to get going. A word of warning about coasting downhill in traffic at low speeds. If you are in neutral with the clutch up and your car has stop-start, I'll do that here, this is downhill, come off the clutch in neutral, the engine is likely to turn off, like so. Now that means my steering is going to be heavy and my brake pedal is going to be firmer as well, because the engine helps power the steering and the brakes. You're still going to have brakes, you're still going to have steering, it's just that they're going to be harder to use. But the car ideally should know this. As soon as I get moving, I wait for these cars to go, the engine should turn on. So I'm downhill, if I come off the brake when this car's gone, as soon as it starts moving, it's not a steep hill this, is why it's taking a little bit of time, the engine turns on. There you go, 1 mile an hour, the engine turns on, my steering and brakes are normal. I stop, it turns off, I come off the brake, and then it will start again. With some cars, they'll actually let you roll a little bit of speed before the engine turns itself back on again. But in those cars, I have found that you maintain steering and brakes with the engine off anyway, so they have thought about that. But it is something to bear in mind. You do want your engine on when you are moving. And if your car doesn't do it very well, I recommend turning off the stop-start system if you are rolling slowly downhill, so that the engine is running whenever you're moving. If you're learning to drive and you stall in traffic, my best advice, take your time. Make sure you take longer the second time you try to get going than you did on the first go. And then hopefully you get it going on the second go. If you panic and rush and try to take less time, then well, you're more likely to stall, and you're more likely to have a third time and then a fourth time, and you can have a vicious circle, and it can knock your confidence. So if you stall in traffic, be calm, be collected, think about what you need to do, take your time, and get the car moving in your own time. Also, make sure you know how to do a handbrake start if you're driving a manual car. Whether you have a ratchet style handbrake or an electronic handbrake starts are a fail-safe way to get a manual car moving uphill without rolling in the wrong direction. Don't just rely on lifting the clutch to the bite point. If that's all you've been taught, well, you're going to struggle in some cars. If you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy. And that takes away a big stress from the owner of the car that you are using to practice learning to drive in. Via the link at the moment, it's up to 35% off and a £20 gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, which fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers, compare who's cheapest, and you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again. So it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.